What's up guys, welcome back to Tradingofftilt. I'm Ryan. In this video we're going to be going over my daily update on Bitcoin. And I want to start off by showing you guys the kind of more macro time frame to give you guys some context for what we're looking at. And I'm not going to go too in-depth into it today because I want to go into it more in-depth tomorrow or when I go over my more longer-term Elliott wave count for Bitcoin. But for this video, I'll show you guys the two main counts that I'm looking at on this more macro time frame, and that would be the WXY to start out with, where this would all be a W wave, X wave up here, and this would be a Y wave right here for a double zigzag. And what we're looking at for the double zigzag is this being an A, B, C into these lows right here for the first wave W of this double zigzag. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wave A. This would be a WXY wave B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave C. And what it kind of looks like, what we're getting right now is a triangle, a contracting triangle. And there's different ways we could count it, but for the most part, especially if you look at other markets, it looks like we're kind of getting a triangle, and we are getting decreasing volume for the most part. Starting from the wave A, you could kind of see decreasing volume in the volume profile for the most part. So I'm going to show you guys real quick. It's not perfect, but you guys can probably see it on here. Definitely not perfect. You're not getting decreasing volume in every single subwave. However, for the most part, it is decreasing, especially comparing wave A to wave B. It picks up a little bit in wave C, and now it's starting to pick up a little bit right here. Now there's different ways we could count it. We could say wave D is in already, and this was some sort of zigzag for an A, B, oops, it would look like this, A, B, C. However, we could also say wave D is still in the process of being completed, in that it simply just put in a wave A of the wave D, because to be honest, this move right here does look a little bit more impulsive. I'm going to show you guys how we could count it later, but this does look a little bit more like a wave A than a B, C zigzag in itself. So it looks like it could be an A, B. This could be a B right here, and we may be coming down for the wave C. So some ways we could count it, I'm going to go into that later, but I'll show you guys real quick. One way we could count it would look like this, where this would be a wave. Actually, that would be a different count, but it would be this one right here, where this would all be a wave A, this would be a B, and this is, you have to assume this is an extended wave 1, because this would be a pretty long wave 1 if we were to expect to get a wave C without taking out the low of this wave B right here. So in order to get a valid contracting triangle, you can't have wave D come past the end of wave B. So we'd be expecting wave C to at least come above this wave B, which would probably mean we have to get a wave 3 that's pretty short compared to wave 1. That's why I'm saying we have to kind of assume this is going to be an extended wave 1. So it would have to look something like this, 3, 4, 5, once we put in this wave 2. And that would give us a more proper zigzag for this wave D, because so far, like I mentioned, it looks a little bit more impulsive in this section right here. But it is possible we could have put in an A, B, C into these lows right here. And if you look at other markets, I'll show you guys Ethereum real quick. It actually makes a little bit more sense that we did put in that wave D, because in the case of Ethereum, we don't really have a lot lower to come. We can't really come a lot lower without taking out this wave B, because this wave D right here, if we're saying this is wave D right here, then it already came pretty far down, pretty close to the lows of this wave B. So unless we were to get a truncated zigzag like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we could have already put in this wave D for all we know. So definitely, we don't really have a ton of clarity right now to go off of. Because, for example, this could be a wave D right here. We could be in the process of completing the wave D. So we kind of have to wait and see. But I think it actually makes a lot of sense that we already put in the wave E. So if we were to hide this right here, hide that, then I think it actually makes sense. We could have put in the wave E, because if we're assuming that this is an A, B, C into this low right here to put in this wave D, then we actually get an ABC off this low right here, and we could have put in a pretty short wave E. That would actually make some solid sense, because off these, let's see. So off these highs, if somewhere in the 4-hour chart, off these highs, we actually got increasing volume if you go onto the lower time frames. It's not super high as of now, but it's still increasing compared to what it was going up into this wave E. So we could be breaking out of this wave E, and if we were to come to the bottom of this trend line right here and break out of it with volume, that's going to give us more confirmation that we could indeed be breaking out of this triangle. And as you guys know, triangles are in Elliott waves are continuation patterns. So if you get a triangle, that probably means you're going to continue the trend that is already existing before the triangle occurred. So for example, this was the larger trend that we had going into this triangle. Hey guys, I just wanted to pause the video real quick to mention that we do have a Discord server now. The link is in the description. And it would be great to see you guys on over here to see your guys' Elliott wave counts, your analysis, your price targets, the upside and the downside. And I'm also sharing my analysis over here. So if you guys want to see all that, if you want to participate, that would be great to see you guys on over here to get some more active discussions. And also I am doing one-on-one coaching now. So if you want to have a session with me, then you can contact me through my email down below in the description, tradingofftilt@gmail.com. And yeah, let's get back in the video. So if this is indeed a triangle right here, that would probably mean we did put in a wave X, because this cannot be a wave 4 of a flat, of the wave C of a flat. So it's going to probably mean that it's going to be the wave X of a WXY. Now I say it can't be the wave 4 of a flat, and it's possible it can be. It's possible, but it's very unlikely. So I actually told that to someone on the Discord a couple days ago, and they were saying, they were kind of asking me whether this count would be correct, where this would be a 1, 2, this could be a 3, 4, 5. And my answer is no, because that would mean this wave 2 would have very little symmetry with this wave 4. And you want to see some symmetry with the wave 4 to give you the right look. And there's really no other way we could put the 1, 2 without getting overlap with this wave 4, because a valid impulse cannot have overlap between the wave 1 and the wave 4. So the only logical place we could put it would be right here. If we were to say this is an impulse down into these lows right here to put in a wave 3. And like I mentioned, this wave 4 would just be very long in terms of time duration compared to this wave 2. This wave 3 would be very extended as well. So that's why I'm not really a huge fan of the flat count on Bitcoin. I'm going to go into that a little bit more in depth, perhaps in my Elliott wave count that I'll be going over, tomorrow or next week, because I'm going to be going into some more counts we could be looking at more in depth. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of the flat count. I'm a bigger fan of the running triangle, like this one right here. I'm not going to be going into this too much today, but I'm a bigger fan of this one, this count right here, or the WXY. So let's go ahead and zoom into the lower time frames. I can show you guys some more local counts we could be looking at, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys the more larger context that we could be looking at to start out with. And the first local count I want to show you guys today would be this one right here. And this would be assuming the WXY, where we actually are getting a double zigzag, but this would not be assuming the triangle. So instead of getting a triangle for an A, B, C, D, E, then we could have actually put in the wave X right here. So I'll show you guys the WXY. Instead of putting the wave X here and here and assuming this is a triangle, we may have put it in right here for an A, B, C. And we could already be impulsing down for that wave Y down here. And that would look like this, where we put in the wave A, rather we put in the wave C for a zigzag for ABC. We're coming down, and this would actually make some decent sense based on the price action, because this looks a little bit more impulsive than corrective. You could say this is an ABC, but all things considered, this would be a very long wave C compared to this wave A right here. So it makes a little bit more sense based on the price action. Now on the volume, that's a different story, because the volume is pretty low, I have to admit, in this wave 1. But the price action alone, it makes more sense to say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this right here. That could be putting in this minute wave 1. And this move right here looks more like an ABC. So that would be saying we got a 5-wave move into this low, an impulse into this low, and a 3-wave move off of it, which is the perfect, is exactly what we want to see if this is a 1 and this is a 2. And this would be a pretty typical wave 2, which retraced quite a lot of this wave 1. And we got a zigzag in this wave 2, which makes perfect sense for a wave 2. So this is, I'm a fan of this count based on the price action, but looking at the volume, you want to see higher volume in the wave 1, especially in the impulse than the correction. And like I was telling you guys a few days ago on my previous daily update, we actually get higher volume in this wave 2 than we got in this wave 1 coming down. So the volume doesn't really indicate that this is a corrective move. This is at least correcting this move right here. So if this were to be a wave 2, you want to see lower volume in this wave 2 compared to this impulse. So to summarize, I'm a fan of this count based on the price action, but based on the volume profile down here, not so much. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag on this count, but it is a possibility that this could be a 1, this could be a 2, instead of calling this a triangle, and we could be coming down for the 3, where this would simply be a 1, maybe it came up for a 2, or we could still be coming out for the 2, 3, 4, 5, up for the minute 4, down for the minute 5, and that could be putting in the wave A, which I'm going to be guessing if we do get a double zigzag, then just to give you guys kind of my take on what we would be looking at, I'd probably be looking for the wave A to bottom out in this order block right here around 23, 24K. Wave B would, I don't know where wave B is going to come out, but wave C is probably going to end up coming into this region of support right here around 18 to 20K, because that's going to be giving us equality with this first zigzag. If we're saying this is on A, B, C into this low, that would be giving us equality based on log scale. So that's the first count we could be looking at locally. Now I'm going to go over the second count, and that would be this one right here, where it's a possibility. So you guys might not be a fan of this count, but it is a possibility we have to keep in mind. This could simply be a wave A. So in the case of the triangle, I'll show you guys I'll show you guys the triangle in just a second, but this could be an A, B, C to complete the wave D of the larger running triangle, where we put in a wave A here. We came down for wave B, and it doesn't really look much like a wave B. Rather, it doesn't really look much like a corrected move, but we could force in a zigzag for an ABC. And then we could also force in a 5-wave move into this wave 1, and this could all be the wave 1 of the wave C. However, this would be a very long wave C, I have to admit, compared to this wave A right here. So it would take a long time compared to this wave A to complete this wave C. And typically in a zigzag, you want to see some semblance of equality in terms of price retracement and time duration between the wave A and the wave C. But it is a possibility. What we'd be looking at is for this to probably be the wave A. This is the wave B, and we're going to come down for a wave C down here for a zigzag. However, like I mentioned previously, this would be a pretty extended wave 1. So this could be a wave 1, but it would be pretty extended. So we'd have to assume this would be a 2, 3, 4, 5 to give us a wave C without taking out this low right here. That's the second count we could be looking at. And I'll show you guys the triangle count like I said I would. And it would basically look like this right here, where we'd be coming up for this wave C, most likely to this 1.618, this golden pocket pulled from this high to this low. That would be where I'd be looking at if we were to come higher and take out this high right here. Because also, if we take out this high right here, that's going to be invalidating the triangle count, and it's going to be activating some more bullish counts we could be looking at. So for example, I'll show you guys the triangle count. That would be saying we're coming past the end of wave C, which is going to mean that this probably is not a triangle, and instead that it looks a little bit more like this, where the bullish count, where this would indeed be a 1, this is a 2, and this would be a 3, 4, 5 to complete this wave C. And looking at the volume profile for this count, it makes actually decent sense. So it's kind of the opposite. This count is kind of the opposite as the previous count that I showed you guys, where the price action for this count, saying this is a 1 and this is a 2, makes sense. However, the volume profile, not so much. However, with this count, it's the opposite, where the price action doesn't really make as much sense to me, because it's hard to force in a 5-wave move into this, to give us a wave 1 here. And also, we have to kind of assume this is a pretty extended wave 1 here, where to come down for wave C. I wouldn't say super probable, but it is a possibility. So overall, I wouldn't say the price action is really that great. It doesn't really offer a ton of great influence to this count. However, the volume profile, we get decent volume in this wave 1 for the most part, especially coming up here and then coming up here in this wave 3. And we get, for the most part, decreasing volume in this section right here, as you guys can see down here. Now we get increasing volume, sell volume right here, given this spike right here. However, for the most part, I would say we do get higher volume in the impulse so far than we get in the correction, assuming this is a wave 2. So that's really the bullish count we could be looking at, saying this is an A, B, C, and that would probably be putting in the wave D of the triangle, like I mentioned. And now I'm going to go on to the more local time frame, because I'm sure you guys are probably more interested in what we're looking at more locally in the intraday time frame. So I'm on the 15-minute chart, and what I'm looking at in this section right here, my main count that I'm looking at right now is probably saying this is an impulse right here. So everything beyond this low that we put in on the 7th of March, we could say this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. It could also be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this could be a 1, 2, and we could be coming down for a 3. But I'm not really interested in that today. I'm just kind of interested in finding levels to be trading to the upside and to the downside. And this is a potential we could be looking at. Like I was saying a couple of days ago in my previous daily update, this looked a lot more like a wave 3 right here than a wave C. Because if we're calling this the only place to put the wave A, the logical place to put the wave A would be right here. You could put it right here or here, depending on how you count it. But it would have to be down here, and that would give us a very long wave C right here. So I was telling you guys, I think just based on the price action alone, it looked not corrective, it looked more impulsive that this was a 1, 2, 3 given the length of this wave C. Because usually if the wave C comes past the 1.618 of the wave A, it tends to be wave 3 as opposed to wave C of a zigzag. Also looking at the volume profile, we got pretty decent volume coming up into this wave C for the most part if you guys look down here. So we kind of got thrown through a loop here because this did look more like a wave 3 than a wave C, and that's honestly why I tell you guys that I hate to trade wave 4s, because if we were to assume this was a 1, 2, 3 into these highs right here, then you never really know if it is a 1, 2, 3 or an ABC, and that's why I tell you guys in the Discord server or in these videos that I do not like to trade wave 4s. I really only trade wave 4s if we do get a very corrective structure or price action very indicative of a corrective structure like a triangle for an A, B, C, D, E. Then I may consider buying on the wave E if we get zigzags in all those subwaves. However, off this high right here, I was not too convinced that this was corrective right here, so I did not buy this wave 4. I told you guys I would be considering it, but I chose not to buy it because it did look a little bit more impulsive than corrective. And it could have been corrective right here, but it didn't look impulsive enough for me to really take the risk of trying to buy this wave 4, assuming this would be a wave 4. So that's basically what I'm looking at on this time frame right here. I think this is an A, B, C into these highs right here. And that could be putting in a wave B. We could be coming down for a wave C. And the way I'd subdivide this in this section right here would probably be saying this wave 1 is putting up here. This would be a wave 2, and this would be an extended wave 3 for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a pretty crazy wick for this wave 4. At first, I thought we actually put in this wave 5 right here, or right here, and we actually came up for this wave. We're actually coming up for the wave 2 here. However, we got this pretty crazy pump up yesterday where we came up and then it just kind of came right back down. So pretty typical for Bitcoin, just kind of screwing over the retail, kind of throwing people through a loop and thinking that we bottomed out when indeed we didn't, or rather when in fact we didn't. So what we did is we actually came down and we actually completed this wave 3 right here. We came up for wave 4 and then we came down for wave 5. And that would be putting in this wave 1 per this count. And do we get a 5-way move into this section right here? Or would this be more of a corrective move right here? So, it's possible we could have put in a 5-way move right here. However, we do get overlap. If we're saying, for example, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this high right here, then we have to kind of tolerate a little bit of overlap between the wave 1 and the wave 4, and it's a very slight overlap. So I would actually tolerate this on this lower time frame. I would say it's a possibility on this lower time frame, because we are on the 15-minute chart, and you do sometimes get overlap between the 1 and the 4 on the lower time frames. So it is a possibility this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if this were to be a completed impulse up here, then we could be coming down for a wave B, where this would all be the wave A of a zigzag. We're going to come down for the wave B. And this looks a little bit more like an impulsive move off these highs. So perhaps we get something like an A, B, C, or as you guys can see in this count right here, we could be coming down for this wave 5 here, A, B, C. That could be putting in the wave B of a zigzag. And then we could be coming up for the wave C of a zigzag. And the level I'm going to be looking at if we do come a little bit higher, first of all, would be the golden pocket, which would be where is it? It would be pulled from the high right here to the low. So it would be pulled from this high to this low. And that would be right above this order block right here. So kind of between this order block and this golden pocket would where I'd be looking out for this wave 2. That would be the first target. And then above that, we have a daily level all the way up here in this area of support here. That would be the second level I'd be looking at, because we don't really have any we don't have any order blocks or volume support in this area right here, nor do we have anything in this area right here. So if we do come above this high right here, I'm probably going to be looking for these two areas of support, rather two areas of resistance to the upside right here and right here around this daily level. Now, if we come lower, then I'm going to be looking probably, so this would be the first level I'd be looking at, this daily level right here around 38K. So that would probably be indicating we get a swing failure pattern right below it. And if we do get that, then we could have actually put in an ABC here. Maybe we come down for another ABC. And if we get a 3 and another 3, that would probably be the perfect setup to get another 5 to give us a flat for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that wave C, for all we know, could end up coming into this golden pocket right here, into this order block right here. So, you know, it is possible that we actually did top out for this wave 2 right here. That would be a pretty short wave 2, I have to admit. But it is possible we topped out for this wave 2. I'm leaning towards it not being as likely. I don't think it's as likely that we did top out for this wave 2. I think we have a little bit longer to go. And that doesn't mean we're going to come all the way up here to this level or this level up here. It just means we're going to perhaps range on a little bit longer before going down again for this wave 3. So that's the first level to the downside. I'm looking at this daily level right here. We also have this daily level down here. Then if we show you guys the monthly, weekly levels, to be honest, if we fall below this daily level right here around 37K, then I'm going to be looking around, the next level I'm going to be looking towards is about 35K or 35.5K around this monthly level right here. We also have a naked point of control down here around 35.6K. So that would be putting in this wave C right here. It could also be putting in wave 2 in the case of the bullish count if this were to be a 1 up here and a 2 down here. So there's multiple ways we could be putting in a bottom down here once we come down a little bit lower, preferably below this wick right here of this wave A. And I would say that some stronger support would probably be around 35K to 35.6K. So that's basically how I'm viewing the charts and how I'm planning to trade Bitcoin in the coming days or the coming day. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the Discord server and in the next video. Take care. Bye.